Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Thank you for joining us for our Sage Construction webinar. We will be starting in just a few moments. We were just waiting on a few more people to join. Just a friendly note, the lines will be muted. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat box and we'll have time at the end of the webinar to answer them. So just another minute or so and then we'll get going. Thanks all. Okay, so I think we'll get going here. So now we'll turn it over to Luke Thackray, our Director of the Construction Division, to run through the Sage Construction software. Luke, I'll turn it over to you now.
All right, thanks, Matt. Just let me know if you can't hear me clearly. I'm going to show my screen, and you should see Sage 100 Contractor. So, thanks for joining. What we're really trying to do today here is give you a brief glimpse at the Sage 100 and Sage construction products. So, many people don't know that Sage has a great suite of construction products, completely integrated, all to do with accounting, estimating, project management, and much more. I'm going to touch on the highlights today. The intent is after this, you say, wow, that was great. Let's see more. You give us a call. We'll set up a very, personal one-on-one demonstration. We can send some pricing and take it from there. So we're going to go pretty quick. If you have any questions, as Matt said, chat them and he'll stop me and I'll answer the best I can. So let me talk about this particular product, Sage 100 Contractor. We have Sage 300 Construction. We have Sage Estimating. This is our most popular. This really fits the general or sub or specialty service, anywhere from 5 to 75 million. That's sort of our sweet spot. And I'm going to start at the very end. So if I look for all of the job cost reports in the system, and what exactly am I going to get out of the system at the end of the day? In the end, it's got to be about, meaningful, timely data that I can run my jobs with. So this is all standard out of the box. I've got a job cost summary report. I can run this to screen. I can schedule this so that it actually gets emailed to me once a week. I can output this in different formats here. I can put actually have different variations of styles, different columns on here, very customizable by the end user. Let me run this to screen. So I might have a small job and I might have a big job. I'm looking at this job. I'm kind of concerned about that, maybe some dollar values that are popping up, $100 cost with no budget. I'm going to want to click on that and see what that's about. So I'm able to drill down to the time entry or the AP invoice or the purchase order. So it's very interactive. So I can't go through all of the job cost reports. We've just got too many. We've got lots. That would be for another day. We can always spend some time one-on-one and go through what you're looking for specifically. Let's keep going though. So let me look at a job income statement. Maybe I want to see things at a high level, then drill down. We can do that too. If you're a general contractor, this is something that I would send out with the checks to the subs. Here's what your contract is with us. Here's your change orders, invoices, and here's a recap. Very simple, very straightforward, and it really, really cuts down on a lot of correspondence between the general and the sub. Cost to complete or hours to complete. So for those of you on the call who have a lot of work with their own forces, this is something everybody wants to do. Very few actually do. We can key in hours to complete, compare that to what's actually been consumed against budget, and do a reforecast and have an over-under. Same thing with my cost. I'm halfway through a 6-month job and I'm 3 months in. Accounting says, hey, this is your status on cost versus budget. But my project manager is actually telling me a completely different story. We have daily field reports. Guys in the field want to key their time entries, or they want to key in incidents and accidents and different pieces of equipment on site. We can do that too. We have a complete equipment module, which allows us to track which equipment was used for how long, how much it costs to fix and repair and maintain each piece of equipment, and which jobs do they charge the equipment to over the course of the job in the year. We have a full takeoff system. Not everybody wants to use our estimating because some people just love Excel. And that's okay, because we can use Excel too. But if you want to make a move, we've got a great takeoff tool that actually integrates right into PlanSwift. And PlanSwift is a digital quantity takeoff tool. Great. We also, we have a complete service management solution that allows you to dispatch technicians in the field for those small service work order type of jobs. All right. So if I want to come in here and look at this, I can come in and run this on the fly, on demand. Quite a lot of these reports has a modify button down here, which means I can pop in and I can start modifying. So it's very user friendly. You're able to put your own branding on a lot of these reports as well if you're putting them out there. And the formatting is up to you. What you get out of the box is all the tools to really personalize the system and the output. So it is a shrink wrap system, which means every one of the 20,000 users, companies, gets the same piece of software. What's different about it is that I can go into different screens and customize this and personalize it. So let's say I'm a home builder. I might have dates here that reflect, lot closing date or color scheme. So we give you a certain amount of customizable fields out of the box to go in and modify. And of course, you can report on those too. Standard stuff, I'm looking at my budget, might be 1 line, might be 1,000 lines. It's all here. I've got all my purchase orders are here. We generate the POs, we'll send them off, keeping track of which jobs are going to. It's effectively creating a committed cost on each job, which is very important. I can see all the invoices related to that PO. And, ideally, I'm going to want to print this off and send this off. And I'm going to put my logo on here and put my verbiage on as well. So, it's a very simple, easy to use system. And it's Windows friendly. It's a client server, which means it sits on your PC. You can use it remotely. If you have a remote office, you can remote in to various pieces of software. It's not web-based. We do have a web-based option for time entry and work order management, which is for another day. So that was my purchase orders. Let's have a look at my subcontracts. Same thing, much the same. I can drill down on those and see what I've got. Here's the biggie. Here's my change orders. This is a change order that I've issued or requested from the client. The general is, whoever it is, I'm asking permission. I've got gross margin down here. This is what it's going to cost me. I might have 10 lines. I might have different cost codes affected. Nice thing is, any one of these forms, I can attach emails, PDFs for tracking purposes. I can put in notes as to what happened, when, and why, chronological notepad. And when I print this form, it's a little different, and it's really important to note that, sure, that's important, much the same as any other form, but I've got the recap here that I'm looking for so that I can get that signed off on. So all of that is just accessible right from my job screen. I can run job cost reports. I can put the reports on my desktop here. I can have email alerts sent to me when things happen or don't happen. So you can set those up, and they're very user-friendly as well. Everything you've seen is inside the box. It's all what you get with the software. I'll show you, not everybody is excited about our scheduling software until I tell them it's free, and this comes with the system. So it's a great little tool, much like a very basic Microsoft project. Let me go to probably the most important place in the software, and that's revenue. So this is a progress billing. Not everybody does this, I can appreciate that, but we do this, and most people do it. If they do it in Excel, then they go back and forth. Then it gets entered as an invoice, and sometimes a change happens outside the system that doesn't get reflected in the accounting system. This is all one system, so that I'm entering my draw here, here, and I'm going to print this off. I'll send it away. It will get, no doubt, rejected. Button there, sorry. But here's my recap, and I don't have to show the detail, but my detail is on my second page. So the holdback's here, the tax is here, all of my detail that wraps up, all my change orders are here as well, and I've got my total. This might go out, come back, and finally get approved. Somebody's going to come in at the accounting level and say, yes, this is an approved draw. I'm going to submit and post it. Now it is an invoice. It's in AR, my balance sheet, my job cost. We're keeping track of all the draws. Draw number 4, previously completed, will be updated with, current to date plus the current on the next draw. We do the same thing for unit price billing. And we also have time and material, construction management billing, and quick billing and recurring billing. And of course, the most important thing is all construction related natively, which means holdback is there automatically. It's not a second line. It's not an afterthought. It's there automatically. All right, time entry. So payroll, we do time entry at the daily level, the weekly level. We also can put in office, executive. We can have multiple payrolls. We can enter time in the field, either at the super level or the labor level on an app on your phone. And that's all in the cloud. And that offering is a monthly offering. Okay, let's go quickly to estimating. I'll show you what one of our takeoffs look like. So here we are. I've got a whole assembly here that I've plunked in by choosing, ceiling light fixture, and all of this comes in automatically. The standard cost, standard pricing, it's all in my database. I'm updating all of that in one place. Everybody has access to the same price and cost sheet. I'm taking a look at things at the recap level. Let's see by cost type. How's my cost estimate doing? Maybe I want to look at it by cost code. Some people don't even use cost code, so this might be a new concept. But for this cost code, hours, cost, and price, and I got my profit. So there's lots of ways that we can slice and dice the estimate, just like you do in Excel. It's a great tool for simplistic estimating. And again, we do integrate with PlanSwift, which is a digital takeoff from a PDF. We have a very robust Sage estimating module outside Sage 100. It used to be called Sage Timberline a long time ago. And it's a very powerful tool for those guys who are 100 million and plus. Equipment, much like jobs, they're a cost center. So how is my equipment doing? How are they doing? How much is it costing me? What's it cost me to run, to own, to certify, to plate? Does all the depreciation. So I can keep track of, what's my cost been over the last X amount of years or months. what did I actually charge out to the jobs? Because I'm going to do that. I want to make sure I get my money back. And I got a little maintenance log here, which I can keep track of things if I need to go back and look at what happened when. We also keep track of what we charge out and what we typically have an hourly charge rate table here, which we can update. And we have a whole bunch of reports that can come back and show us which piece of equipment is the most profitable or costing us the most. And the equipment can be anything from a backhoe to a tunnel camera. To something that's, you know, small, maybe high dollar value or high turnover, and you want to start keeping track of that stuff. We can do that. Let's look at my dispatch board. Not everybody, again, on the call is going to be applicable to use this, but I will create a work order for today, for Wednesday. I'll pick my client that called in, and I'll say, you know, out of water. And I don't have to pick a job. I'll say it's a service call and it's a work order. So I'll save this, and now it's on my dispatch board. I'll give it to somebody else. Might be a tech, might be a sub, but now they've got, you know, if they have the mobile app, they have access to this work order, put some notes with the parts, the labor, miscellaneous charges, take pictures, upload the pictures, have access to drawings and specs related to that job. They can have the customer sign off on the work order and basically have it ready here for billing. So, you know, this is great for those jobs that are 1 hour to 1 to 2 days. So typically that's service type of work. And if you're bouncing more than, let's say, between 1 and 5 or 6 technicians or trucks, this is a great solution. If you're looking at 10 to 50 trucks, then the Sage 300 construction would be a better solution. That solution would also have preventive maintenance. So I'll actually do my billing right from my work orders right out of this screen as well. Very simple. I'll flip it into an invoice, enter in the parts with standard pricing, and then print and send that off. Inventory, yeah. If you have $500,000 worth of inventory and you're trying to track it and manage it, we do. It's very basic, works. I'm going to be able to put this PO, allocate parts right to my balance sheet and to my inventory, carry perpetual quantities, average cost, and then start to push those items out to jobs, and the jobs will absorb the cost and bring it back if I need to. Very simple. The purchase orders drive it. I keep track of the purchase order level of what I purchased, what I received, what I haven't, what I've canceled. Let's have a quick look for those general contractors on the call. We do have a very basic document control system which does RFI submittals, shop drawings, and transmittals, and things like that. It's a one-sided kind of thing where I'm going to key it in, I'm going to send it off, and I'm going to wait for the answer, get the answer in an email, I'm going to key it or copy and paste the answer. What it is not, it's not a collaborative software with external subs and contacts. This is an internal document. The nice thing is all of these documents have dates required, date due, and who is attached to them, so I can run reports and alerts anytime to say I'm still waiting for these 3 RFIs, I'm still waiting for these 3 submittal packages to be approved. A great tool at a company level to make sure nothing falls behind, you know, between the cracks. I think this is, let me run this one here. Very basic. So different reports will have different data elements. I have a billing report. That's really just a report that shows me what my contract is, what I billed previously, billed this time, what I billed left to bill. This is a commitment report. So what have I issued as POs against the budget? What's remaining? You know, it's very difficult to fit everything on one page. but we do have summarized reports, and a lot of these reports you can drill down on. I'm going to run this one quickly. So this is interesting. So I got cost to date, and I've got what I've entered as cost to date, and committed cost, estimate to complete, estimate at completion, and variance. And it just depends on what data you have in the system. It's important, of course, that if these reports are to make sense, they all have to be updated on a regular basis. So one of the things that systems like Sage 100 Contractor and Sage 300 really sort of sit on as a platform and philosophically is one point of entry, and it's only one time. So what I'm entering at an estimate level will be pushed down to purchasing, will be pushed down to my budget, which will be matched on my AP invoice to my purchase orders. What we're not doing is we're not rekeying the same data. And that really eliminates time and errors. And definitely streamlines productivity. So if you're looking at quantifying, time savings, you probably would say, well, look, if I spend an hour a week entering POs from new jobs, subcontracts from new jobs, I might take that down to half an hour because that's pre-filling for me. If I'm spending an hour or two a week just matching POs to paper packing slips, well, we can, or invoices, to purchase orders, we can slim that down too, because when you're entering the AP invoice, you're matching that against the PO. There's lots of time savings. Most, honestly, what most people tell us is they want more information, accurate information, and quicker. I've got a 4-month job. I don't want to be in the 3rd month to find out I'm going over budget. So this gives you daily updates, weekly in the case of payroll, and it gives the project manager a chance to bring the job back online if it's going off the tracks. Hey, Matt, how are we doing for questions?
Yeah, no questions as of right now, but just a friendly reminder, if you guys have any questions, please type them into the chat box and Luke can answer them for you. So I guess continue on, Luke, for now, and then I'll let you know.
All right. Yeah, it makes me nervous. No one wants to. Usually people have questions. That's okay. Either I'm doing a really good job or a really bad job. So I'll, great. So the software's been set up essentially as a very user-friendly piece of software. I can hide a lot that I don't want people to see. I'm a project manager, let's say. I don't see anything to do with accounting. I don't even know there's an accounting system. I don't want to see those 10 reports. I want to run my 4 reports. That's it. We'll take them off your view. So it can really be simplified for the end user. It's not custom software, which is great, because that just means that I don't have to worry about the thing giving me an error or a message that it's not working. You have Sage's full attention on the support help. They're there in North America, which is really important, from 9 to 7, 5 days a week. You've got us to help you get going and to get set up, and you're going to need some training. So to give you an idea of what it costs to get this thing going in ballpark figures, we're talking about, let's say, a 3-user system, 3 concurrent users. The first user, $5K. Second, $2.5. Third, $2.5. We're up to $10K. And if you want, let me know if you want more, obviously, accurate pricing. We can do that for you. The software support annually is going to be about $2,000. That's 20%. Training budget about $6,000. So you're up to about $18,000 for 3 users. One-time cost. The only recurring cost would be the $2,000 for the Sage support. The add-ons are the Sage additional modules, and not everybody really, wants the whole system, because if I'm a home builder, I don't need equipment management. I might not have payroll. So the system comes out of the box with general ledger, all the accounting, all the payroll, project management, except for documents, because not everybody's a GC. Utilities comes with that. Does not come with, this is a $2,000 add-on. This is a $2,000 add-on. Scheduling's free. Service and inventory, $2,000 add-on combined. And reporting is free. The modules that you might be interested in that we don't have on the screen are Sage Workflow, Paper Workflow, where I can scan in a whole bunch of invoices, route them digitally for approval. That's a full session on its own. We also have the Sage Estimating, so if you're over 50 million and you've got 4 estimators, we can show you that too. We talked a little bit about the Sage Service Operations, work order, remote work order, and time entry. We have that. That's subscription-based. Could be anywhere from $5 to $60 a month for a user on that. We have a great Excel integration, whether you push a report to Excel, it works great. But let's say you want, keep your formatting and all your formulas on your existing reports, then we have a Sage Liberty Reports, which is an add-on, again, about, let's just call it $1,500 to be able to extract data in real time and keep all of your formatting right in Excel. Those are probably the other add-ons that most people would consider. Now, there's a couple other obscure ones for home builder, for real estate agents and real estate management. But today, most people are buying this core system with 1 or 2 add-ons. And again, we do have financing available. It's 0%, 24 months. And if you want to know what that number, you can finance all the software. You can't always finance training, and rarely finance support. We have a great dashboard here. Let me show you this. Now, I see everything because I have full access to all the data. But, you decide what you see. These dashboards are configurable. I double-click, drill down, double-click, drill down. So I'm able to customize my dashboards also. Customize my reporting, customize my email alerts. So while the software is out of the box, the same for everyone, the tools are there, built in to make it very customizable and very, specific to your business requirements. Some of the things that Sage 300 Construction does that this does not do: lease management. If you have more than 10 techs in service, it does a better job there. Intercompanies available in Sage 300 Construction. And then we have those are probably the big ones. The GL code is much bigger potentially in Sage 300 Construction. Other than that, they're very similar products. The nice thing is Sage 100 Contractor, it's about half the price on a scale to say, look, Sage 300 Construction, you're looking at twice the dollars for support and software, and about 3 times for training. So we always start with this product because it's so simple to use and it's very economical. If you do want to see more of it, let's send Stan or Matt an email, and we'll set up another time where we can go into more detail. I covered virtually 0 of the accounting because I'm not an accountant and I couldn't tell you too much about it, but I can tell we do all the Canadian requirements, holdback, tax, right across the country, WSIB in each province. We do ROEs, T4s, we do 5018 reporting for subs, and all of that works built in. It's not sort of an afterthought. Good. All right, well, Matt, I don't know. I mean, if we don't have much activity on the chat end, I've covered everything in high detail, very, very high level. So I think if we can call it a webinar, I think that would be good.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think, Matt?
Yeah. No, that sounds good. Thanks, Luke. So we don't have any questions. So I think at this point, Luke, I'd like to thank you for running the webinar, and we can and just thank you everyone for attending, and then we can send everyone an email afterwards with the recording. And if you guys have any questions, just email me back, and I'll make sure Luke and Stan can reply back to you guys. All right. So have a great rest of your day, guys. Thanks again, Luke. Thank you, everyone. Take care.